What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with some more NBA on this fine Wednesday. So hopefully you guys had a great day yesterday, or maybe you guys are kind of like me and NBA's been a little bit rough these last couple of days. Player props and money lines. So it's been a struggle for me personally. Hopefully you guys have not had the same problems. I know I didn't have a video yesterday, but honestly, guys, it's better that I didn't. Like I said, yesterday was bad for me. So I'm kind of glad I didn't make that video. I have been going live on Instagram for about an hour a day. I'm going to try to do that every single day going forward. I don't have a set schedule on the time that I'm going to do that. I'm looking probably around noonish on Eastern time every day, majority of days. I am busy today, so it's going to be later this afternoon. So you're probably looking at 4 or 5 p.m. today. You're going to see me go live on Instagram. If you guys do want to follow the Insta, we'll break down the NBA slate live. I might have some different looks than I do early in the morning, especially if some of the injury news comes out, and we can take a better look there. So Ryan Fantasy Aces on Instagram, links down in the description if you guys do want to go follow me there. Looking at our bet tracker from yesterday. So the last 2 days have been red for me. I lost a lot yesterday, guys, on money lines. Minus 464. Still profitable at $2,000 for the month. Up $1,951 on the month so far, which is still good. Looking at the bets from yesterday, these are the ones I played. I had Spurs Magic money line. I had the Mavs in a Heat spread, which missed, which I was very concerned about the Heat losing this spread because I played a teaser on this one. So I actually had the Heat plus 10.5, and they got beat pretty bad by Minnesota. I had Duke money line for college basketball, which cashed, and then I had half a unit on UCF money line, which ended up missing. So down $465. When you look at the public bet tracker. So this is, if you guys are new to here, I've been tracking teams that have more than 70% of the money on them on average, both money line and spread. So these are the games from yesterday. Cavs, Lakers, Timberwolves, and Mavericks. And they all covered the money line. A couple of them missed the spread, but public's hitting at 83.3% on the money lines. Now, you guys see that a lot of these are juiced lines. You got minus 300, minus 500, minus 200 on a lot of these. So the favorites are definitely winning a lot like they're supposed to. Spreads are hitting 67% as well, and the odds on these spreads are going to be even. It's going to be even odds on all these spreads. So 66% of these favorite teams are covering the spread, which is something we're going to be paying attention to. We're going to see how this goes going forward. There's not a whole lot of data yet. I'd like to see 60 or 70 of these entries filled before making a complete decision, but I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to show you guys daily how it works, and hopefully we can get some good value from this little experiment that we're running. I am going to be picking a winner from our last video to win free VIP. So if this video gets 250 likes, I will select a random comment from the comments to win a free month. So make sure you guys are dropping a comment, leave a like on the video. You do have to be a subscriber to win, and let's go ahead and pick our winner from our last video. So the winner is going to be for Ridge Thompson, who said, "Let's go with a money bag." So Ridge, send me a message on Discord. I will get you added for that free month of VIP. Appreciate the love and support from every single one of you guys watching. And hopefully we can get into a good groove going today on these picks. If you guys do want to join the Discord is free to join. You can join our VIP for $10 a week or $25 a month. Code NBA gets you 20% off. I know a lot of you are going to say, why would we join your VIP? Because you've been losing the last couple of days. Still up $2,000 for the month. So yeah, we've had a couple bad days, but some of these wins have been way more consistent than the losses. I can show you December. We can go to December's tracker. December, we profited right at $6,000. So over here, and I have go to my bets list. You can see the total profit since it's been tracked. We're up 69.62. So 69.62. That math is not mathing. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be about $5,000. So we're up around $6,900. So, anyways, doing well. Hopefully we can keep it up. Like I said, WAP's down in the description if you guys do want to get every single one of the plays. Hopefully we have a good day on these money lines, and I'm looking forward to this slate because we do have a big slate. So let's jump into our first game on the slate. First game that we have is going to be the Wizards versus the Sixers. Some games on back-to-backs today, or some teams on back-to-backs that I'm not really interested in looking at. Wizards being one of them. Philly at home. It's hard for me to want to look at the Wizards here. They played last night. They ended up beating Orlando last night. I had the Magic money line last night, which they sold me. Magic are on a back-to-back again today. So this team I'm not looking at right now. Wizards been better lately than they started the season at, but they're still the Wizards, and yeah, I don't think they're on a back-to-back. They're going to travel to Philly and beat the Sixers at home, personally. So looking at Sixers here, not really much I'm interested in. Sixers are too juiced to take, not touching a 13.5 spread, and when you look at Washington, more money's on Washington just because they're plus 500. So if you want to risk it on Washington at plus 500, you can. I just don't realistically see them beating Philly on a back-to-back. Next game we have, this one's actually competitive. We got Toronto taking on the Hornets. This one is going to be in Charlotte, plus 113 underdogs at home. 1.5 point spread on this game with a 229.5 total. Right now, 67% of the money is going to be on the Raptors, with 52% on them covering a 1.5 spread. Looking at this game, 229.5 total. Like I said, should be pretty decently fast-paced. Not super fast-paced by any means, but it should be pretty decent for player props. When you look at these two teams, the Raptors are on a 2-game win streak. They've won 4 of their last 5, though, so they've been looking pretty good. They beat Atlanta back-to-back games. This is another team that has chalked me. I had Atlanta last game plus 10. They chalked that, so that's been pretty much where these last 2 days have come from, is from a lot of these money lines. But anyways, the Raptors right now are missing Jakob Poeltl once again. Chucky Hepburn is questionable. Other than that, they got a fully healthy team. Looking at Charlotte, they do have Diabate, who is probably going to play. We got Brandon Miller probably. He should play. Kalkbrenner is sitting out this game. Plumlee's out. Grant Williams is out. So I don't even know how to say that last name. We're not even going to attempt it. Is out. But anyways, this team's pretty much fully healthy. Missing some players, obviously, a few of them. Kalkbrenner being one of the big ones. But regardless, starting 5 doesn't look bad for Charlotte. Now, Charlotte's played good basketball lately, man. They just blew out OKC. They beat OKC in OKC 124-97. Never in a million years did I think that was going to happen in that game. I did say that if you wanted to risk some money on Charlotte plus 900, I didn't think it was a bad bet, because obviously it's the NBA, anything can happen. And I had a couple people do that and cash for plus 1,000 or plus 900, whatever it ended up being. But I didn't personally run it myself, because realistically, I thought OKC was going to win the game, just like probably everybody watching basketball. They did beat the Bulls the game before that. Bulls have been having a lot of injuries, so that one didn't surprise me at all. But other than that, they had lost 3 games in a row prior to those 2 games. So Charlotte's not a team that I look at as a powerhouse by any means. They're playing at home. I still think the Raptors win this game. You're getting the Raptors for even money. The Raptors are a better team, in my opinion, even though Charlotte has been playing good basketball. I don't think they're going to beat the Raptors today. This one's kind of coin flip. If you like the Hornets here and you think they continue with this momentum, you could run the Hornets. But I am looking at Toronto in this game. Next game we have is going to be the Bulls taking on the Pistons. We got the Pistons minus 400 favorites at home, 10.5 spread, 231.5 total. Most of the money is going to be on the Pistons for good reason. When you look at this Bulls team and you look at their injuries, you have Zach Collins is out, Josh Giddey is still out. You got Kobe White questionable, so you're looking at some Buzelis is also questionable. So you're looking at a lot of players on this Chicago team that's missing, and even when they're fully healthy, they're not a powerhouse team. So take away a majority of their starters, and I just don't see them beating the Pistons in Detroit tonight. Now, the Pistons have a probable Cade Cunningham. They have Jalen Duren missing. Tobias Harris is missing. Isaac Jones is questionable. Chris LeVert's probable. Wendell Moore's questionable. Duncan Robinson's probable. So they got a lot of players that can potentially sit, and some players missing as well, which could lead to this game being slightly competitive maybe. If that happens, Cade Cunningham will feast most likely with all these players out. Cunningham's probably going to be the one to go to, especially against a Bulls defense that gives up a ton of stats. So that's a great matchup for Cade. I like Cade here. He's not one of the free picks, but if this game stays competitive, Cade's definitely one of those players you could look at here. So maybe they keep it competitive, maybe they don't. I got Pistons winning this game for sure, though. I'm not looking at the Bulls here, but for plus 400, if you bet on the Bulls, odds are there if you wanted to take them. Next game on the slate is going to be the Celtics versus the Nuggets. This is a game where the Boston is minus 300 favorites at home, 9.5 spread with a 232.5 total. Majority of the money right now is kind of split. You got 58% on Nuggets money line, but 72% on Boston minus 9.5. That's mainly due to where the odds are. Nobody wants to take the Celtics at minus 300 for good reason. When you look at these two teams, the Nuggets are coming off of a dub versus Philly, and the Nuggets are missing so much. You have Christian Brown questionable, Aaron Gordon questionable, you have Jamal Murray questionable, Bates is out, Jokic is out, Cam Johnson is out, Joe Val is still out. They're missing pretty much their entire team. If you look at their bench, they have more players are out than are playing. So looking at Boston, you got pretty much Ron Harper questionable. Pretty much the team we've been looking at all season long. So I don't think The Nuggets are going to go to Boston and beat this Celtics team at home. Both teams are on 2 days rest. The Celtics have won 8 of their last 9 games. They've looked very good lately, so I expect them to keep that momentum against an injured Denver team. Denver is not a team that I'm looking for as an upset. Yes, any team is a live dog majority of times, but still, like I got the Celtics here. I don't think that Denver beats them. Next game is going to be Magic Nets. Nets are plus 117 at home, 2.5 spread with a 222.5 total. Very low, slow-paced game on this. Very slow-paced game that we have here. Right now, most of the money is on Brooklyn money line, but you got around 56% on Orlando covering a 2.5-point spread, which for me, if I was going to run one of these two lines, you got plus 108 for minus 2.5 or minus 119 for money line. I'd probably just run the money line. That's just me personally. Looking at these teams, we just told you that Orlando's on a back-to-back. They just lost to the Wizards. They're traveling from Washington all the way to Brooklyn. So lots of traveling here for this Orlando team that's missing some players anyway. They're missing Wagner, Suggs, and Castleton again. Brooklyn pretty much fully healthy. We got Cam Thomas back. Michael Porter Jr. is playing. So decent team when they're fully healthy. They're not a good team by any means, but they're decent enough to keep games competitive. And this is a spot versus the Magic where Magic on a back-to-back with a lot of traveling, it could be a good spot for Brooklyn to win at home. So I'm looking at the Nets here. Am I confident in the Nets? Not super confident, but I do like them in this spot. Nets money line for plus 117. I don't dislike at all. And really, if you wanted to play some type of teaser for this, you could get the Nets at plus 7.5 on or plus 8.5 on a teaser. You can get some good value there. So Nets plus 8.5 with some other team. You can run it with the Celtics, you can run it with the Pistons, anything like that, and get close to even odds. It's not a bad play in my opinion. So that's probably what I've been going to be looking at. It's going to be Nets money line or Nets plus some type of spread on that game. I do like Michael Porter Jr. here as well. Next game, we have Knicks Clippers. Another good game. Knicks are minus 186 at home. 5.5-point spread with a 224.5 total. So another pretty slow-paced total. 62% of the money is going to be on Knicks money line, with 57% on the Knicks covering that 5.5 spread. When you look at these two teams, the Clippers have looked like dynamite lately, man. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. That Boston beat them by 31 points, which is a huge loss to Boston. They just come off a win versus Golden State in a very, very close game. I actually had Golden State in that game, so that one kind of hurt me. When you look at the Knicks, they're on a 4-game loss streak. They lost to the Pistons, got blown out by the Pistons. Lost to Philly, got beat by 11. They lost to the Hawks, got beat by 12. And then they lost to the Spurs where they got beat by 2, and this was in San Antonio. So this game I can understand. That game was close. I actually had the Knicks here. They ended up losing. Pistons, I had Pistons beating them. Maybe I had that reverse. Maybe I had the Spurs here and I had the Pistons here. One way or the other. I missed one and hit one. But anyways, Pistons just blew them out. Like, this is a tough... That was a tough L in Detroit. They're back at home. The Clippers coming off a close game versus Golden State. Yeah, the Clippers have been killing it. Clippers are missing Bradley Beal for the rest of the season. They got Bogdanovich out. They have James Harden questionable. They have Derrick Jones out. The Knicks, Josh Hart, and Landry are the only two out. So this team, I think, is better than the Clippers. I'm going to be honest. Now, the Knicks are one of those teams that take some games off. Like lately, like 4 games in a row they've lost. I don't think the Knicks are losing 5 in a row. I really don't. Give me the Knicks at home tonight. I like that play a lot, so that's what I'm going to run with. Knicks, money line, minus 186, a little bit juiced, but I do think the Knicks get a dub here versus the Clippers at home. Next game is going to be the Hawks versus the Pelicans. We got the Hawks minus 376 at home, a 10.5 spread with a 246.5 total. Most of the money is going to be on the Hawks here for good, or Pelicans here. Pelicans. I saw red and immediately thought Hawks. On the Pelicans here, and not for good reason in my opinion. I was going to say for good reason, but Pelicans lost, 8 games in a row? They're on a back-to-back. They just lost to the Lakers last night, 111-103. You look at the Hawks are not on a back-to-back. They just lost to the Raptors, 118. If you look at this Pelicans team, they're missing, or they have a questionable Sadiq Bey, Herbert Jones, and DeJounte Murray is out. Atlanta is missing Dante, obviously. Toppin's out for the rest of the season, obviously. And then you got Trae Young, who is questionable. Trae Young potentially going to the Wizards. Tough call for Trae Young there. I feel bad for the guy if he's going to the Wizards, which maybe I feel bad for the Wizards too, but... anyways, I digress. Let's look at these teams. I think the Atlanta has the better team. Now, I will say the Pelicans could definitely come out here for plus 400 and get a win on the road versus Atlanta. I don't think that's undoable for the Pelicans. Now, they're on a back-to-back, like I said. traveling again. Atlanta's probably the better team anyway, so it makes me a little bit hesitant to want to take the Pelicans here. But a plus 400, man, I don't think that's stupid. Give me the Atlanta to win, but I think the Pelicans could potentially keep this game close if you want to run their spread, especially if you ran a teaser plus 15.5. I could see that happening. Next game is going to be the Suns taking on the Grizzlies. This one's going to be in Memphis. Memphis is plus 172 underdogs at home, a 4.5 spread with a 232.5 total. And look at the total in this game, the Pelicans-Hawks, 246. Very, very fast-paced. This one's mediumly fast-paced. You got most of the money right now on Phoenix covering a 4.5-point spread, 90% of the money actually. Then you got around a 50-50 split on the money line here. Looking at these two teams, Memphis is on a back-to-back. They just beat the Spurs last night, 106-105. Great win for the Grizzlies. If you look at Phoenix, they're coming off of a very close loss to Houston. This one was in Houston. This Phoenix team has been really good, man. They really have. Memphis is potentially missing Coward tonight, potentially missing Morant. They have Brandon Clark still out, Zach Edey's out, Ty Jerome is out, John is out, Konkar, and then we have Scottie Pippen, who is also out. Phoenix is still missing Jalen Green, and then Jamari is pretty much the only two that they're missing. So I do think that this Phoenix team is better at minus 170, even on the road. I kind of lean Phoenix here to get this dub tonight, especially with the Grizzlies on a back-to-back and a tough win versus the Spurs last night. So give me Phoenix. I don't think the Grizzlies are winning on back-to-backs, but it definitely could happen at plus 172. If you want to take them yourself, but I like Phoenix here. Next game is going to be Thunder versus Jazz. If the Thunder lose back-to-back games at home versus Charlotte and versus the Jazz, like, I don't even know what I'm going to say. Give me OKC here. I can't trust the Jazz in this one. I'm sorry. Next game is going to be Spurs-Lakers. Lakers minus 233 at home, 7.5, or Spurs minus 233 at home, 7.5 point spread, 236.5 total. Most of the money line, or 55% is on Lakers money line, 77% of Spurs cover an 8.5 point spread. So a lot of people are on the Lakers just because of the plus 250 odds. They're coming off of a win versus the Pelicans, but they're on a back-to-back. Now they're traveling to San Antonio to get probably get beat versus the Spurs. The Spurs team is pretty much fully healthy. Harrison Ingram and Devin Vassell are both questionable. If you look at the Lakers, they're missing Rui again. They're missing Austin Reeves again. Gabe Vincent's probable here. So this Lakers team has really struggled a majority of games when they're missing AR. Yes, they have won 3 games in a row, but that's Memphis, and Pelicans. Like, those 3 teams really isn't saying much. And all these games have been pretty competitive. So I'm not super big on this Lakers team right now. I'm a Lakers fan. I like the team a lot, but overall, in terms of them winning and losing, I can't take them to beat the Spurs, especially in San Antonio. So give me the Spurs to get a dub tonight at home versus the Lakers. Next game is going to be Golden State versus the Bucks. This is a game that could go either way, in my opinion. You got Golden State minus 200 favorites at home, 6.5 spread with a 229.5 total. Look at these two teams. 70% of the money's on Bucks money line, 73% on Bucks covering a spread. Golden State right now, coming off of a loss versus the Clippers 2 days ago. Bucks are on 3 days rest. They just come off of 2 wins versus Charlotte and versus the Kings. When you look at this team, missing Torian Prince, that's about it. Looking at the rest of the team, pretty much fully healthy. Giannis and Franz are back in business. Look at Golden State. Golden State's missing Cryer, potentially missing Cryer. They're missing Seth Curry. Draymond is questionable, and Gary Payton is questionable. So this is a game that can go either way, like I said. When you're looking at a game that's pretty much coin flip, in my opinion, even though Golden State is at home, Golden State are a little bit more consistent. The Bucks can beat them. So seeing the Bucks plus 200, I'm on the Bucks today. Odds alone, give me the Bucks plus 200. If I took some type of spread, you could play a teaser with the Bucks at plus 11.5 and play that with any other team, and you can get a nice little teaser. What was the other one we were looking at? Plus 6.5, and then it was it the Nets plus 8.5 I was talking about? I think it's another good one. So lots of different ways we can do this slate tonight. We got a nice slate in my opinion, and I do like the Bucks here. I'll probably run some money on them at plus 200. Last game on the slate is going to be the Rockets and the Blazers. Trailblazers right now are underdogs at home plus 225, 6.5 point spread, 224.5 total. Look at the Rockets. The Rockets have 69% of the money on their money line, as well as 56% of the money on them covering the spread. They are still missing Sengun. You got to look at that. Sengun, Isaiah Crawford, and Fred VanVleet are all out. Look at Portland missing Jeremy Grant, Scoot Henderson, Drew Holiday. Dame is still missing Chris Murray. Lots of players out for Portland, as usual. That's nothing new there on that team. But this team has won 5 of their last 6. They beat the Jazz, they beat the Spurs, they beat the Pelicans, they beat the Mavericks, they beat the Celtics, and they lost to OKC in a blowout loss in OKC. So this team's actually looked pretty dang good lately. If you look at this Houston team, the Rockets have been good all season long. They've won 5 of their last 6. They beat the Phoenix on the road or at home in their last game. They lost to the Mavericks the game before that in Dallas, but they beat the Nets, the Pacers, Cleveland, and the Lakers in 4 back-to-back games, or 4 straight games prior to that 1L. So this Rockets team's look good. Beating Phoenix without Sengun, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to go on the road in Portland and get a win tonight. But at plus 200 for Portland, maybe that's the road you want to take at home. Most of the money, like I said, is on the Rockets to get this dub tonight. But without Sengun, man, Sengun's a big piece of that puzzle that really. It's a tough loss to not have Sengun. So Portland definitely could get that win, and they are definitely live dogs if you wanted to sprinkle some money on them. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into some player props, guys. The first thing I want to say is that if you want to get a free month of our VIP, you can sign up with any partnered app down in the description. The one I'm pushing a lot like right now is Parlay Play and Chalkboard. If you sign up to Parlay Play using code Fantasy Aces, they will give you a $5 free bet. They will give you a deposit match up to $100, and you get free VIP. Same thing for Chalkboard. They will give you a deposit match up to $100, and you get free VIP and Chalkboard. We will have a ladder challenge for today if you want to join VIP for that. Another partner that I am partnered with right now is called Upside Tools. Upside Tools is an optimizer. What it does is it takes a line from all the books, it compares the value, and it tells you where you should take that line for the most part. So if we click Player Props Optimizer here, it's selected the Prizepicks. You can pick the book you want to use. It's going to take these props, and it's going to help you find good value. So I'm going to hit league here. I'm going to hit NBA. We're going to go look at Shea. So Shea under 11 RA, 54.7% chance to hit. If you look at the odds across the other books, you can see minus 144 to go under on FanDuel. You're getting even odds right now on Prizepicks. So you look at these values, and Prizepicks is giving you very good value. It's minus 191 on underdog at 11.5. So you're getting it under 11. You have some push potential here, but the value's so good, it's almost dumb not to be able to take some type of some lines like this. So helps you line shop super easy. If you guys want to try it out for 5 days for free, you can use our code ACES down in the description. There's a link for that if you want to give it a try. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some player props, guys. Let's lock in some slips live. So first player prop that I have for today is going to be our wagon himself. We're taking our man Brandon Ingram. I am taking Ingram to give us 30 PRA. He has been a wagon, like I said, all season. This line has a very good value today. It's almost a 1.5x for him to give us 30. Usually you're getting like a 1.3x on this play. Looking at Ingram, he's cashed it 70% of games on the season, and he's cashed it, 80% of his last 20 games, averaging 33 points, rebounds, and assists over his last 20 games. Head-to-head data versus Charlotte, he's cashed it 2 of his last 3 games. All of those are from this season. The last game they played, he only had 18, but they got beat by 25 points or 25 points. So it was a blowout loss. He didn't get his regular minutes. They only scored 86 points. Obviously, these players are not going to have very many stats in a game with that slow pace. When you look at Charlotte, they give up quite a bit of stats to the small forward and power forward position. If you average it out, it's a decent amount of stats. To the small forward in general, it's not a whole lot. If you look at them to the guard positions, not a whole lot, and then to the center position, it's not a whole lot. So the only position they give a ton of stats to is going to be power forward. Matchup's not going to be amazing here, but I do think this game's competitive enough. I think it's fast-paced enough for man Brandon Ingram to give us 30 points, rebounds, and assists. And with the way he's been cashing me, I can't not take a chance on him again tonight. So that's the way I do things. I run player props that have cashed me a lot, and I kind of feed on those same player props over and over again. If they have a 70 or 80% hit rate, odds are you're going to cash. If you can do that with multiple player props, you can. The odds are going to be in your favor, especially if you're straight betting. Now, when you run parlays, the odds go down slightly, but that is why I play these safer plays. So we got Brandon Ingram at plus or 1.45x if you want to run him on parlay play. Who am I going to pair Ingram with? I'm pairing him with Michael Porter Jr. So MPJ, Porter. Now, this is a line that you can play around with if you want. I'm taking his PRA. Cam Thomas is back. Even with Cam Thomas, he's been balling. You can look at his last 10 for now. 8 of his last 10, he's averaging 40 PRA. Last 20, he's averaging 38 PRA. I'm taking him at 29.5. Now, I like Porter up to 32.5. If you want to play him at 32.5, get better value, you can, because the value on this slip is going to be very low, and you're going to see that here in just a minute. But Porter for 38 or 30 PRA. He's averaging 38. Head-to-head, he's cashed his only game this season. He had 42 versus the Magic. Magic don't give up a lot of stats, but I told you guys, this is a game at home in Brooklyn where our man Porter Jr. could have a good game. This game should stay competitive, and the Nets can win. So I like Porter here. If you look at the matchup here for for Porter, small forward position and power forward position, what we're looking at. They don't give up a ton of stats. Matchup's not great. Like I said, it is Orlando. It's not a super fast-paced game. But give me Michael Porter Jr. here for 30 PRA. 30 PRA is a very low line for him, and for the way he's been cashing this, I can't not take a chance on him. So I'm taking the two wagons. I'm playing them together, and hopefully we can have a wagon cash. That would be nice. So this should be around a 1.77x. Yes, so we can barely play it, but we can play it. 250 wins 442. That's what I'm going to be locking in. So we can come over here to track picks. I'm going to hit refresh. I'm going to click this slip. And Ingram and Porter Jr. both over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Jumping into slip number 2 and our third pick of the day. The third pick that I'm going to take is for man Jimmy Butler. Now I'm taking Butler. There are two lines I like. There's a riskier line and then there's a safer line. The riskier line is going to be his points. I like Butler to give us 18 points. If you look at his 18 points line, he's averaging 20 over his last 10. He's averaging 20 points over the season long, and he's cashed this line 72% of games on the season. Playing against the Bucks. The Bucks are a team that I think can win this game. Butler plays well versus the Bucks. He's cashed just 4 straight games versus Milwaukee. When he's playing for the Heat, he was cashing. When he's playing for Golden State, he's been cashing. So 3 straight games playing for Golden State. He has won this season. He had 23 points. He does not get a lot of shot volume, but he does get a lot of free throws. Butler's a guy that can draw a lot of fouls. You look at his last 10 games and look at how many free throws he's averaging. 8.4. 3 of his last 4 games, he's had double-digit free throws. So dude's getting a lot of opportunities at the line. When your line is 18 and you're getting 10 free throws, it's very easy for you to go over this, especially when the shot volume is shooting around 14 field goal attempts per game. Now, what I like to do for teams like this is for players like this, I need to see Butler. I'm going to put with Draymond. I'm going to put with Steph Curry because Draymond will feed Curry. Draymond helps Curry out. When Draymond sits, Curry doesn't do as well. When Curry sits, Draymond does not do as well. They are pretty in sync with each other. So I want to see what the stats are with both those players playing. So we look at this. He still has a 76% hit rate with both Draymond and Curry in, and then head-to-head data is cashed both games. So nothing is telling me that Butler has a bad play here. It's a tough matchup versus the Bucks for sure. Small forward to give up 21.6 points per game. So I like it here for Butler. Think he's going to have a good game, and that's going to be the more risky pick. If you want to play a safer line and get a very low payout, his PRA at 24.5 is something that's been a freaking wagon. I mean, he's cashed this, and you can look like 29 of 30 games. I mean, dude's been a freaking beast. So give me Butler for 25 PRA as well, and I'll definitely be sprinkling something like that for like maybe a ladder challenge or something. But for this slip, we're going to pull up Butler. I like Butler at 17.5 points. The better odds right for this one's going to be on Prizepicks. So Butler, 17.5 points. Who are we going to pair him with? So who we're going to pair with Butler? I'm going to pair him with Giannis. I'm looking at Giannis on this game. We're going to play a game stack. I think this game's competitive. I like this game a lot. It's one of my favorite games on the slate. We look at PRA, or not PRA. We're looking at points for Giannis for me. I like Giannis up to 26.5 points. From 24.5 to 26.5 is what I'm looking at for Giannis. He's cashed this line pretty consistently. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit lately in some of these games, but he's coming off an injury. So we need to look at Giannis's minutes. So since coming off his injury, 24, 25, 28, 29, 32. He had 32 minutes his last game. I'm expecting 30-plus minutes per game this game as well, especially if it stays competitive. If you put Giannis's minutes up to 30, he's cashed this in 75% of games, 9 to 12 on the season. He's averaging 33 points per game. Putting up big shot volume, another guy who can draw a lot of fouls. He's averaging 12 free throws per game. If he hits 65% of those, you're looking at a free 6 points, and he's averaging 20 field goal attempts per game as well. So you're looking at a guy who can get 26 points pretty dang easily if he's having a decent game. So I like Giannis here, head-to-head versus the Golden State. There's only one matchup that we have, and he has 20 points in that game, which he ended up selling. So regardless, Giannis here is a play that I like a lot. So we're going to look at him at parlay play. And the reason I can't take him on parlay play is because you can't get him at 26.5. So if you play him at 24.5, you have a 1.7x. So you have to throw in some type of third pick to play this. And if I was going to do a 3-pick parlay, I'd probably just take Butler at 24.5 and just play like 3 lines around a 1.3x rather than have Butler at 1.45 and then throw in like a – because I could realistically do this and take, like, for example, Dylan Brooks for 11.5 points, and that puts you at 1.85. You could easily do that, but if I was going to do that, I'd probably play something like another, say, for example, 17.5, and then take Butler at 24.5 PRA and still get the double up. That's probably what I would do. But why I'm saying taking on parlay play or on Prizepicks, if you take Giannis on Prizepicks, you can actually get him at 26.5. which I like, and it gives you a 1.9x. And this was a double up. This was a 2x a little bit ago. So it's actually come down in value. But I like Giannis for 27. I like it for 25 better, obviously. But either way, I think that's a good play. So that's what I got for today, guys. This is slip number 2. Butler points, Giannis points. You can play around with it. You can take Butler PRA if you want his PRA. I like his PRA better, but the payout's not going to be nearly as good. So, and then obviously the first one we locked in was right here, Ingram and Porter. So lock them in if you like them, guys. Fade them if you don't. Those are the 2 slips I'm going to be playing. Hopefully we can have us a good day today. Some of these money lines are going to cash. I'm feeling a good day. We're due for a good day. So if you want to join the Discord, like I said, links in the description. I keep things real around here. I'm not going to say I win every single day like half of these guys scamming you. I'm showing you real losses day by day and real wins on the days that we're winning. So that's what I got. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.